my distinct pleasure to welcome to the microphone a fellow veteran and today's guest speaker, Mr. Travis Snyder.
What does it mean to be a veteran? I couldn't think of how to start this talk. I sat and I thought about how to explain to you what it truly, honestly means to be a veteran. Truth is, I couldn't think of how to get things rolling. So I did what your teachers tell you to do. Just start. So that's what I did. I decided to mix in with my speech a couple music videos. And we're going to start it off with a song by Toby Keith called American Soldier.
No way.
It's not about me, but someone who deserves to be remembered on days like today, Veterans Day. The story of what I'm about to tell you is an example of why we have ceremonies like this one, the one we are having today. So here we go. It'll start with me. I joined the military when I was 19. A year into college, I was spinning my wheels. By this, I mean I was going nowhere fast. It was crazy to think that I became a teacher because I was such an awful student. I struggled to make it to class on time, if I went at all. And more often than not, I would just spend the day hanging out with my friends. Because, I mean, honestly, who wouldn't? In November of my first year of college, I went to a Columbus Blue Jackets game with some high school friends. Two of them were already in the Air Force. One of them was going to the Air Force Academy, and the other was in security forces down in Columbus. They started telling me about all the things that they were doing with the military, and all the places they were going, and it sounded amazing. Oh yeah, and they talked about free college. So rather than wasting my own money at college now, I decided I was going to waste it on the government's dime. I wish I could tell you that I sat there, and I thought long and hard about joining the military. But if truth be told, it took me about 5 seconds. And then I decided I was going to join. The following summer, I went to boot camp. People ask me, what was boot camp like? And I always tell them that if I could, I would go back to boot camp in a heartbeat. The entire day is already planned out for you, and all you have to do is do what they say. Sure, you get yelled at from time to time, but I promise you, it doesn't kill you. I graduated boot camp as an honor graduate and went through all the specialized training for my job. All in all, it took about 9 months from the first day of boot camp until I made it back home. For the next 5 years, I was a traditional guardsman, which means that I went to the base 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year. During that time, I did get to go all over the country. I went from Washington, D.C. to Niagara Falls, and pretty much everywhere in between. I was loving the National Guard. During this time, I was still attending school. In fact, I had turned around on the educational front. I was taking 24 credit hours a semester in order to graduate with 2 degrees. The military was paying for my school, so I planned on taking full advantage of the situation. To me, the military was a great way of living. And I told everyone I ran into, my friends and family, enter Austin. On the screen behind me was a really close friend of mine. Someone that I considered to be even closer to me than my brother. I was kind of a mentor to Austin. And he was one of the people that I talked to time and time again about how great the military was. Austin joined the Army after I encouraged him into it. Austin took to the Army like a pig to mud. He became a medic and was shortly deployed to Marmal, Afghanistan. It's funny how your perception of invincibility begins to grow when you're in the military. In previous wars, the casualties were many, so it wasn't uncommon for people to be wounded or killed in combat. In the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, it is much less likely to be wounded or killed. That is how these wars are viewed. Yes, the soldier on the ground knows the dangers of being in a combat zone. But there's this feeling that you have when you're 18 years old, a feeling that you yourself are invincible. Sure, Afghanistan was dangerous, but people getting hurt and dying was what happened to other people. This is how I viewed it. And this is how Austin viewed it when he left. That all changed. On April 6th, 2012, What you see on the screen behind me, this is an actual picture from Al Jazeera newspaper. While on a routine patrol, a 12-year-old boy, someone who is younger than most of the people in this gym, walked into a local bazaar and detonated a suicide vest, instantly killing 3 soldiers and wounding a handful more. Austin was one of those. This is an actual picture of Austin. He's the one on your left right there with his hand on his helmet. The attack was sudden. It was violent. And there was little that could be done. The shrapnel that exploded in a 50-yard radius was devastating. As it meant, Austin now had to put all of his training to use in order to save as many lives as possible. His brothers in arms were counting on him. The only problem was that he, Austin, was hit himself. You see, when the boy detonated the bomb, the explosion was off to Austin's right. And a piece of shrapnel no larger than the end of your pencil went in under Austin's armpit, traveled through his lung, and stopped in the sac around his heart called the pericardium. If Austin were standing 1 foot to his right, he would have been killed instantly. Austin, while not killed instantly, was still in serious trouble. Now, we're going to leave Austin's story with him, looking just as he did in this picture, to tell you about some of the key things of what it means to be a veteran in my eyes. I deployed after Austin's accident, and while I was on deployment, I began to understand what it truly meant to be a veteran. I have 3 points. The first one, giving everything you have. I want you to think for a second. I'll give you a second. What it means to sacrifice. In your head, think about what it means to sacrifice. Now think of something that you've had to sacrifice in your life. What's the hardest thing you've had to sacrifice? You see, the thing about sacrifice is it's not having something taken away. It's you willingly giving up something for the betterment of others. I didn't fight for my country. I didn't fight for my government. I fought for the guys next to me, because if I didn't fight for them, who would? When it boils down to it, in the heat of battle, this is why many people fight. The saying goes, war is hell. And in a way, this is true. There's nothing more intimidating, more menacing, or more sinister than combat and war. Those of you who have been through my combat week know there is one rule to war: to kill or be killed. Bullets don't care what side you're on. If you are in the way, it's going to go until it's stopped. As a military member, I think back to the ones who have served before me. Having to take key positions in the battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa, fighting building to building in Europe during World War II, having the courage to get out of a trench and run across a killing field in World War I. I think about the 18-year-old just out of high school, the age of many of the seniors in this room, walking through the jungles of Vietnam, just waiting for an ambush to come. In today's world, I fear that we get a warped view that combat is like the games Call of Duty or Fortnite. In real combat, there is no respawning in 10 seconds. There is no, where are we dropping, boys? It's chaos. It's scary. And if you get killed in true combat, it's final. Some of you might be wondering, well, why don't you run? You don't run because that is what you are there to do. You are there for the guy or girl next to you. The one thing everyone wants when deployed is to go home and bring your friends with you. We all know that sacrifice is giving up something that we like or love. Sacrifice is a word we often associate with today, Veterans Day. I want to talk for a second about sacrifice. The sacrifice that soldiers are willing to put on the line. The ultimate sacrifice. When it comes to sacrificing, is giving your life for the good of others. That is why when a soldier loses their life in combat, it is known as giving the ultimate sacrifice. When a soldier dies in combat, they give up more than their life though. They give up their friends, their job, their family, their kids, their spouse, and any future they may have had with these things. Today's military is made up of those who volunteer. which means that people serving today and yesterday, all the way back to the founding of our country, for the most part, volunteered to give the ultimate sacrifice. Justin Moore has a popular song right now about giving the ultimate sacrifice. Let's take a moment and truly listen to what he is saying in the song. Think of someone you know who is a veteran, and think of what they put on the line by serving or having served.